A little late to the party, but here's the new universal Wi-Fi adapter from MHD. I was actually very surprised that a lot of you guys had no idea that this new adapter existed. I mean, MHD released it not too long ago, but it kind of went under the radar for a lot of you guys. I figured since I've been making a ton of MHD content since pretty much the channel started, I'll make a breakdown of this and see if it's worth upgrading from the previous model. This is supposed to improve upon every single previous adapter they've made in every possible way. For those of you that are not familiar with MHD tuning, here's a quick overview. They are pretty much a mobile tuning solution for various BMW models that carry the following engines: N54, N55, N13, B58, S55, and S63. It's very easy to use MHD and literally anyone can tune their BMW from home in a matter of minutes. All you need is a tablet or phone powered by Android or iOS, a tuning license and tune, and either a wireless adapter or DCAN cable. It's super simple. So here's what we have. This is the previous adapter that was very popular. It's been around for a while. At one point it was good for E and F chassis cars, and eventually MHD did an update to their app where this was only good for E series cars. Very, very popular item. That was actually the top selling product on my website. Well, it was because they no longer make this, and the replacement is the universal one that works for the E chassis, F, G, and even the Supra. And this black one right here is the F and G chassis adapter, which hasn't been discontinued, and my guess is because they have the port for the Ethernet cable if you want to run a more reliable connection to your car, while the new universal one doesn't have that. So I guess that's just one of the cons to this one right here, is that if you do want to run an Ethernet port, you're still going to need this one, which we still sell on the website and we have plenty in stock. This little device here over the last few years has been a pretty good product. It's very small, very compact. Build quality is pretty nice. It has a few flaws though that a lot of people always talk about. One, when you plug it into the OBD port and you have the car off, it remains on all the time, so it technically draws voltage from the battery. It's not much. If you drive your car every day, you're not really going to notice it. I guess if your car sits for an extended amount of time with this plugged in, it might cause issues. You might run some codes on your car one day and you'll see like a voltage drain issue. Another issue was, for whatever reason, every time I had my 335 at the house, I couldn't consistently connect to the wireless adapter. This one right here, it would just disconnect. I would connect it, it would disconnect, and that's kind of scary. If you're trying to tune the car, you can brick your ECU because of that issue. I wouldn't have that issue tuning the car here at the shop or maybe like a mile away from the house, but I don't know if it was like the wireless system from my house, the 5G network, that was interfering with it, but that was always an issue, something I've never really experienced with the black F and G chassis adapter. But this is supposed to solve all of that, because one, as far as battery drain issues, this one has an automatic sleep mode, so when the car is off, it's not supposed to draw any battery. So we'll put that to the test. And the connection issues as well that a lot of people are experiencing with the orange one is also supposed to be resolved with this one. So I'm definitely going to try to run this at the house later on in the video and see if it fixes that. Some other improvements you get with the universal one is the write speed. MHD claims 30% faster than the original E chassis one and 5% faster than the F series one. So if you already own an F and G series one, then you might not need to upgrade. It's only a 5% difference, but if you own this one, it might be a good idea, especially when you're writing new files. It's going to drastically reduce those write times, which I think is very, very convenient. That's very interesting. If you look closely, they have an MHD branding inside of the adapter. That's pretty neat. Another massive improvement is that the firmware is updatable, which is very cool. You can update it through the MHD app. Being that this is a new product, you might experience some bugs and stuff like that, which probably can be easily ironed out in the future with software updates. Something that wasn't available for this one, and I don't think it was available for this one. If you had bugs with this one or issues, you were kind of stuck with it because you couldn't really update anything on it. But with this one, it should have a longer lifespan just because you can update a lot of that stuff with the app. This also doesn't only work for MHD. Let's say you're tuning your transmission with XHP, you can use this. Other coding softwares like Beamer Code, Pro Tool, you can also use this. So this is pretty much an all-in-one device. Guys, it is very important that I mention the following. See, a lot of you guys keep making the same mistake. You go over to our website, you purchase the MHD wireless adapter, and then you guys email us back because you can't tune your car because it's asking you for an activation code. Not only do you need the wireless adapter, you need a tuning license as well. We sell everything that you need on our website. Make sure to read the product's description. It says it all there. I'll make it really easy for you guys. I'll leave all the links down in the video's description below, along with a link to this awesome E90 shirt that's inspired by my 700 horsepower 335. I think I have like 30 of them left, and I'm not planning to make more of this design. So make sure and check out those links. Help support your boy. All right, let's go ahead and test out this adapter and see if it's worth it. First things first, when you're tuning your car, make sure you have a battery charger connected. Last thing you want to do is brick your ECU mid-tune, and then the car becomes inoperable. You can't turn it on. Sometimes it's recoverable and sometimes it's not, and it's a headache to get that DME functioning properly again. I'll be brutally honest with you guys. I never really use a charger, especially for those quick tunes. But that's me taking a risk, and I want to set a good example. Use a battery charger. That way you guys don't blame me for bricking your car's ECU. All right, so it depends what car you have. If you have an F and G chassis, then your port is down here underneath the dashboard. For us E chassis guys, you have the port right here. It's only covered by this little cover. So you take it off and then you plug in the adapter right there. Very simple. Just put it in just like that. No, you plugged it in correctly because you'll see this light that constantly stays on right here. Again, this has an auto sleep feature, so you don't have to worry about it draining your battery at all. Next thing you want to do is put your car into key position 2. I have comfort access, so I don't have to put the key in the slot. For those of you guys that don't have comfort access, you just put the key in the slot and you press it once. So now I'm in the network settings for my phone. This is Android. If you guys have an iOS device, it should be very similar. You'll see MHD CAN right here. You'll connect to it. It'll say connected to device, can't provide internet, which is fine. Then you'll open up the MHD app. Normally you're prompted to sign in if it's your first time on the app, which you can do that here, top left section. I'm already signed in, so I don't need to do that. And a quick test that I always like to do when I connect, I just go to the codes to read any faults that my car may have. A lot of people always ask me, how do I run codes on my car? What platform do I use? I use MHD. So I'm gonna go ahead and read DME codes. There you go, so I'm connected, I scanned the car. I don't have any active codes. I do have the shadow code here, CAN sensor 1, which is something that pops up from time to time when you're using motive reflex, but normally not an issue. So as you guys can see, the connection is fine. We're ready to tune the car. If you want to reset adaptations, let's say you're troubleshooting your car, you can do that here. The tuning section, if you have the super license, which is normally the one that I recommend, I don't recommend purchasing the tunes separately and then getting a tuning license. It just ends up adding up, especially if you want to switch up the map with like E85 tunes, 93 and stuff like that. So you have all the OTS maps here, and let's say you're running OTS maps for a while, which stands for off-the-shelf tune maps that work pretty much on all cars. Once you're ready to move on to the next stage and you have, let's say, upgraded turbos and you want to get the most out of it, you have a section which is when you get your tuner involved, and they can take advantage of the entire MHD suite, and you do everything through here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the car and show you guys something else. So now that I have the car on, we can monitor some parameters. You can do logs. Again, if you're troubleshooting the car, you're just sending logs over to your tuner so they can refine everything. You go to the monitors tab at the bottom, hit data login. It'll start connecting to the car. And as you guys can see, I have all these parameters that I can see when I'm driving the car at all times. So I got the long-term fuel trim, short-term fuel trims, rail pressure, ethanol content, which is very, very cool when you run with motive reflex, the O2 sensors, and then of course the low pressure fuel pump, which is normally very important when it comes to making power. And let's just say you wanted to monitor something else outside of these right here. You would just press one of the readings here, and then you can select all this information that MHD gives us access to. You can literally see everything about how your car is running through MHD, which is why I'm a big fan of the platform. And for those of you guys that don't want to run MHD on your cell phone, because while you're driving it can be very distracting and dangerous, and you'd rather have better visibility of the parameters and stuff like that, you can do that with an aftermarket head unit like I have here from Extrons, which by the way, we recently started selling on our website, and I actually made an entire video on the install and all the features of this head unit, which is very cool, and I've been using it for over a year. Just like your phone, you'll go to your network settings on the head unit. We'll connect to MHD CAN. Nice, we're connected. Then you'll go to the App Store and download MHD, which I don't have to do because I already have it installed. We'll press it. Boom, MHD. Now I head over to the monitor tab, data login, so we can look at the parameters. And there we have it. Obviously, it looks a little bit different than MHD on my phone because I changed the theme on here to be like a bar style instead of a gauge style, but it works the same way. I have boost, PSI, ethanol content, and the IATs. Obviously, there's a lot of advantages to running MHD on an aftermarket head unit like the one that we offer. just because it's a bigger screen versus the phone, clearly see the information, and it puts it at a better viewing angle, so when you're driving you can kind of glance at it versus your phone. Very distracting and very dangerous to your. The head unit just makes it a lot easier, especially if you're looking at a lot of information at once. So one MHD feature that I use religiously, like 99% of the time, especially on the head unit, is I enable automatic login, which you can see there on screen. Essentially, every time you drive your car, if you floor it, it will automatically record a data log. So let's say one day your car misfires, or maybe even your engine fails. Hopefully that doesn't happen to you guys. It's easy to go back and look at the logs and see what might have caused that. It's a feature you can do on your phone as well, as you guys can see right here. But it's inconvenient because then you always have to have the app open and you can't do anything else with your phone, which is why I love to run it on the head unit. Let's go ahead and take the car off for a drive and do a data log so I can show you guys how that works. And then once we come back, we'll tune the car with a different tune and see how fast the right speeds are. What's super convenient about using that wireless adapter is that there's no wires in the way. So there's no clutter. It's a very clean setup. All right, we'll do like a high gear pull because it's raining out. We're supposed to have a hurricane here in the next day or so. So I just want to show you guys how to do it, but not necessarily push the car like that. All right, let's go ahead and do a quick pull. It'll say recorded on there, as you guys can see. And that's all you need to do. Now all I have to do is go to graph a log, select the most recent one. And there you have it. My data log is right there. All their parameters are here on the right hand side. You can select or unselect whatever you guys want to see there. Very simple. Records it every single time you go wide open throttle. Okay, let's go ahead and do some testing. I went ahead and connected the old wireless adapter. I'm gonna tune the car with stage 2 plus, which is an OTS map available through MHD. 93 octane. Obviously this is not suitable for my particular setup because it's a single turbo running full E85, but it's okay. I know how to drive the car. I just want to see how fast the right speed is, and then we'll do the same thing with the new wireless adapter. For those of you guys that are not aware, when you are tuning your car, you have all these options like burbles and stuff like that. You can do anti-lag. And you can enable like motive reflex and stuff like that. I'm gonna press long right to see how long it takes. I'll time lapse it here real quick, and then we'll do the same for the new adapter. All right, and it's done. So what I'm gonna do now is flash another OTS map that's not stage 2 plus. Those writes are normally much faster to the DME because it's almost like the same baseline of some sort. So we'll do stage 1 and we'll record how fast it does that one. And we will start now. All right, and that one is done. As you guys can see, it was much faster since you're going from OTS map to OTS map. Applies the same if you're just changing the options on the same map as well. And that was all with the old wireless adapter. So now I'm gonna go ahead off camera and flash my custom tune and do the same exact thing that we did for the old adapter. All right guys, I went ahead and put the new adapter, and I also flashed the car to my original custom tune. So we're gonna do the same exact test and go into a V10 OTS map, stage 2 plus 93 octane, which is right here. All right, let's go ahead and start. And we are done. All right, and now we're gonna go ahead and flash stage 1, 93 octane. And we are starting now. And done. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and overlay the results for both the old adapter and then the new one here on screen so you guys can see. Definitely a tad bit faster than the old wireless adapter. I don't think it was quite 30% though, but definitely a little bit faster. And again, you kind of get some added features with this one that I talked about earlier today. So it might be worth buying it even if it isn't 30% faster than this one. It's pretty much time for me to head home now. It's getting pretty dark. And once I get home, I'll film the final portion of the video to see if I have issues connecting to this adapter while my home Wi-Fi is active in the background, an issue that I used to get with the old adapter very frequently. But one more thing I want to mention to you guys, if you have an aftermarket head unit or you're planning to get one through us, do not flash your car using the head unit. You will brick the ECU. Use a tablet, use your phone that's not directly connected to the car to flash your car. It's going to leave your car inoperable. Many have learned the hard way. So just use it to like do logs, monitor parameters, read codes, reset adaptations. Do not flash your car with the head unit. Alright guys, so I just made it home. I connected to the wireless adapter and I don't seem to be having the same issues that I had before with connectivity. It seems to stay connected even though, you know, my wireless internet is going on in the background, unlike the old adapter, which there was always some kind of interference. You see I just ran some codes and I'm good to go. I've had this connected for the last 3 minutes and it hasn't skipped a beat. Seems like everything works just fine with the new adapter. So yeah, very good to know. If you guys made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate you guys. All the watch time really makes a difference. If you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor, hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure to subscribe for more BMW content. And as always, thanks for watching. Till next time.